kick things off right here at this Boardwalk Carnival opening logo. It gives the impression of being real, but I think it might have been AI generated. The evidence is this middle dip in the roller coaster track. Now, I want you to imagine a row of roller coaster cars, probably 6 to 8 in a chain, going down either side of this dip. Try to visualize how they navigate this dip without crunching into the cars behind them as they ascend. People will die, and it's all because of AI. 54 seconds of 4 different logos. This does not bode well. We got bees in the title, so the opening credits 100% need to be about bees. The movie doesn't really have a lot of bees, actually. Lots of bee-related shit. In case you were not overbeed, here is a rapid succession of hexagons to subconscious you into submission. Produced by Kurt Wimmer and written by Kurt Wimmer. Seems like a lot of credits-based trouble to go to just to have me attribute all this movie's sins to you specifically, but you do you. What happened here? She got halfway through trimming and cutting the carrot, peeled half the potato supply, and seemingly kept all the discarded trimmings on the cutting board. This is the most staged cutting board I've ever seen.
Heard the expression, kick the hornet's nest?
Oh, no, that is not a good American accent, and I'm not certain I feel comfortable blaming Statham for this. The real blame goes to whoever forced him into what is, I think, a Boston accent. And why? Statham's entire brand is, oh hey, it's the Cockney English guy that does all the ass kickings. And if this character needs to be American, fine, cast an American. Wait, did he just kill all those hornets in that bag? Because if he did, then yes.
Hello, I just got a message saying that there's a problem with my computer.
No one will be seated during the fishing event carried out on America's favorite sitcom mom. The director said, let's keep an apple just within reach that she does not eat, so everyone will know to like her because she is not an asshole.
Stick to the script, but not so much that you sound like a goddamn robot.
This is advice I receive on a regular basis and refuse to follow. Never, I say. See, none of this was in the script. Or this.
I've gone ahead and deposited $500 into the account ending 020.
Oh, that's not my account. That's an account that I manage.
Check on your grandparents and elder friends, folks, because what this movie is showing you is happening to elder people every day. Sin on the movie for making it easier for some enterprising lowlives to go into this business.
I will need a different password, though. 1 second.
Now, this is the master password for all her accounts.
But how can he know that for certain? Sure, she's clearly not great with technology, but maybe she knows to have different passwords for her accounts. What I'm getting at is that he's saying this with a lot of screenplay confidence that I don't think is supported by actual confidence.
Boom! Yes, that is what I am talking about!
So she gets a load of fraud alert alarms from her various accounts after the money is gone? Not one of these f***ers put a multi-million-dollar transaction on hold or tried to phone her. My card got put on hold because I spent $45 at Wendy's and I wasn't being scammed. I'm just lonely. This label says Eloise, and that probably means a lot to him. But what would mean a lot to me is if he also put other information on this label, like the nutritional info, or even a drawing of a bee. Trespassing.
Who the f*** are you? And what are you doing in my mother's house?
The movie gives us the impression that Clay and Eloise have an established friendship and have been around each other long enough for him to feel looked after by her. Hell, he's been there long enough to rescue the land and establish a bee colony. So how come Verona has no idea who he is? Yes, we learn that she's somewhat estranged from her mother, but you'd think Eloise would have at least mentioned the buff English guy with a terrible Boston accent.
Verona, I'm so sorry.
God damn, that is a f***ing dark-ass f***ing way to open your movie. I get it. Eloise's death will motivate Clay to Neeson his way out of retirement and wick his way to vengeance, but that's never going to undo the fact that the nice lady shot herself after being scammed. That will never not be true, and I feel like knowing it. I don't care that it's imaginary.
Mr. Clay, we just got a couple of questions.
Like, what the f*** were you doing in my mother's house?
I was bringing her a jar of honey.
Clay answers these questions in the vaguest and most self-incriminating way possible, and it is infuriating. Yes, technically you did bring her a jar of honey, but that isn't why you were here. She invited you over for dinner as a thank you for dealing with some hornets. He gets to all this eventually, but there is no need for him to slowball himself into a night in jail.
Who the f*** are you, Winnie the Pooh?
I, for one, would watch the out of that movie.
She didn't answer when I knocked. I noted a car in the driveway.
By the 14-minute mark, the Bostonish accent has all but disappeared. This should be cause for celebration, but sadly, it will periodically return like the herpes of terrible vocal work. The daughter of the victim who doesn't believe the Beekeeper's story goes out late at night with a flashlight to look at the bee houses. I'm not sure this counts as investigating anything, actually. I'm glad to see that pouring some liquor into your drink before taking a meeting with Jason Statham is a pretty universal concept.
I hated that she was out here alone.
Clearly not enough to do anything about it.
There's some British Isles hiding in your accent.
Hiding? F***ing hiding! Yeah, it's hiding so f***ing well that the goddamn movie felt the need to explain it away.
He'd mow the lawn and you think he invented fire. Meanwhile, I graduated the FBI Academy and she said, oh, that's grass.
Maybe you should have tried mowing the lawn. Also, the movie throws out some microwave mommy issues for instant character depth, and I do not like the taste it leaves in my brain. We have no idea why they're estranged, other than Verona claiming Eloise liked her brother more. I don't know what this adds to the story, other than making Eloise seem like a bit of a dick, when we should be feeling sorry for her.
She was an educator, director of a charity for kids. I got $2 million out of that account.
Maybe the charity should have spent the money on the kids instead of just letting it sit there unused, eh?
Taking from an elderly person is as bad as stealing from a child.
Maybe instead of creating categories of theft niceness, we just say the stealing is wrong.
Even the FBI can't find these people.
Well, we're not the FBI, are we?
This is hilarious to me. In Taken, Liam Neeson tracked down the kidnappers himself. He had a police friend that he got a tiny bit of information from, but he did the legwork and then beat ass. This guy is just calling God, basically, to get the address of the guy he wants to find. I'm sure the ass beating will be fun, but this is a cheat code.
You weren't kidding. This one kicked my butt.
Maybe you should try using a computer on the 2024 side of 1985. Jokes aside, what is up with these computers? I know it's an aesthetic thing, but why are the Beekeeper's computers this old and crusty? At first I thought it was to stay off the grid, but I'm pretty sure they're using the grid to find the hackers, so what the is going on here?
But you found them.
Sure. But who are these people?
I'm gonna find out.
And then he hangs up. And yeah, she could be sending him the info over text or email, but then why did she call just to say this one kicked my butt?
Repeat after me. I will never steal from the weak and the vulnerable again.
Why isn't one single person freaking out right now? I've seen videos of scammers losing their shit when someone on the phone finds out their name or location. So if a man turns up with 2 canisters of gasoline at their desk and with clear knowledge of the shady shit that's going down, I'd be expecting less laughter and more blind panic.
I'm a beekeeper. To protect the hive.
The only way this could sound less tough is if Arnold was playing this guy. I'm a beekeeper. I protect the hive. Wait, these guards had guns? Well, why were they fighting him hand to hand? He's really f***ing lucky that a call didn't come in until he was exactly perfectly clear of the explosion.
Let me get flat white, oat milk, of course.
This young person is hip and likes his coffee with oat milk, and therefore my generation should hate him. You know, just in case the stealing money from charities and the elderly thing wasn't enough.
And he burns the place to the ground.
That place is still standing and not any longer on fire.
Who did this? Give me a name right now.
Sir, I don't have it. All the cameras in the drives burned up in the fire.
He said, in service of the plot. Also, I don't think that's likely, possible, or even likely possible. We'll learn that this is a billion-dollar operation, so you'd think they'd have stretched to cameras that upload their footage straight to the cloud? Damn it, I have that in my house! Wow, this is very strange. Cops and federal agents are almost never portrayed as alcoholic workaholic burnouts with poor hygiene who fall asleep on their couch. What a swing! A contemplative man sits in a field and ponders the importance of being.
I took her for over $2 million yesterday.
Yesterday? Beekeeper man took care of business quickly! And how convenient that the guy who burns down your building happens to live like a short drive away.
You know what? He breaks my shit. You break his shit.
Right, he exploded your entire building. Destroying a few beehives will make things even. I feel like an adult wrote this movie, but every 3 pages he slid the script over to his 3rd grade child and let them take a page. But also, shouldn't this anger the bees and make them attack the shooters? Movie gives less than 10 seconds of Statham home aloneing this barn, knowing full well that we'd won at least 15.
Where you at, B-boy?
The head of the call center is one of the 4 armed guys attempting to assassinate the Beekeeper. If he was capable of silent strangling dude with the chain, why did he first silence him by holding a screwdriver close to his eyeball?
You know, this is a really nice shirt, by the way. Did you steal it out of a casket, you dog
Whoa, hey, whoa.
This comment by an active FBI agent gets the whoa treatment instead of an immediate suspension.
Yeah, I know. I'm an asshole.
Why did she put on sunglasses for this conversation?
Oh, so you like fires?
Yeah, today I do.
Because apparently your mother's house is on fire too.
God damn, dude, that's a brutal way to tell your partner that her childhood home is burning down. We know she's an asshole, but you don't have to be. Man, the bad guys did a lot better job burning down this house than the Beekeeper did at burning down their office building.
Yeah, Wiley, I'm good.
And the award for the teeniest, tiniest, emotionally charged fake sip of coffee goes to... Seriously, look at that. Just don't bother drinking from it. You know it's empty. We know it's empty. Just let it be something for your hand to do and not your mouth.
The Beekeeper.
Well, credits.
Lost my virginity in that barn.
Awesome. Not remotely pertinent, but awesome. Also, would the FBI really allow someone to be lead investigator in a case that involves their own mother and childhood home? Because I think they would not.
You sound young. I bet you don't have estate planning.
I'm
28 years old. Why would I need that?
Indeed. No 28-year-olds need estate planning because they're all going to live forever. Also, Hutcherson is enjoyable in this. But if he thinks it's making up for Hunger Games, he's got another thing painted as a cake coming.
Killed 7 armed men without firing a shot.
Jesus. Is he Batman?
For someone who has elevated up into an art form, this might well be your Mona Lisa.
Oh, I know this one. What is Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom? What is Ant-Man 3? What is Expendables?
Wallace, just tell me what the this guy is.
He's probably the last pair of eyes that you're going to sneer at.
Yeah, that's still not telling Derek or us who he is. I could understand if he was Jesus Christ resurrected, or Gandalf or some shit, but the answer is that he's a really great assassin, so tell him that. Look, I don't want to be that guy, but she's been wearing this Harvard t-shirt for a really long time now.
Well, I was just thinking you come in here hungover on your day off and gain more yardage on this thing than the whole squad has in 2 years.
To be fair, she only gained yardage because they now know who the guy that ran the blown-up call center is, and that allowed them to make the mob connection. And she only knows who he is because the guy living near her mom blew up said call center and handed her the operation on a burning plate. She hasn't done any work here that couldn't have also been done by anyone else who had this situation land in their lap. They want us to think she's a super detective cop person, and while she might be, this isn't proving it.
Either he's never been printed or Adam Clay doesn't exist.
Wait, you guys did try the Alias database, yeah? Please tell me you didn't stop at fingerprints.
Jessica.
I think you know why I'm calling.
You know I'd do anything for you.
Wallace was the head of the CIA and seemed to be a pretty stand-up guy who's frankly done with Derek's shit. This makes it all the more frustrating that the reason he's here is because he wants to Jeremy his iron into Derek's mom.
Why are you calling me on the Never Call This line?
I'll do you one better. Why does he have the number to the Never Call This line if he's never supposed to call you on the Never Call This line?
Wait, a beekeeper?
Forever, ever? Forever, ever? If you are ever in a place with 1,000 lamps on that still feels really dark, run!
The current active beekeeper is a f***ing lunatic who should have been removed months ago.
So the board is sending someone insane after a retired hero assassin, and you don't want me to make John Wick comparisons? Because I'm not required to try any harder than you do. Also, what do you mean current active? Is there just one beekeeper at a time? Or are there multiple that work in shifts based on... Oh, who f***ing cares? Isn't this the same lady that just gave assistance? Oh, who f***ing cares? So I guess the beekeepers are just allowed to kill cops as long as they're on a mission? Okay, he fights Pink Coat Lady, and I would tell you what happens here. I really would, but the film decided to cut this sequence 94 times, and so I have no f***ing clue what's happening, and that's the sin. During the gunfire, the beekeeper, and I cannot stress how much I am not making this up, retrieves a jar of honey from his truck and hits the machine gun girl in the head with it. And this is a movie that wants you to take it seriously. Jesus Christ, this guy likes fire. Are we sure Beekeeper is the right title here? And not something like Beekeeper of Fire? I guess they don't teach the roll part of stop, drop, and roll at Beekeeper school.
I need your keys.
Okay, but did that guy then die in this explosion as you sped off? Did he?
The beekeepers have studied the situation and have decided to remain neutral.
How can I do that? He was their man, for f***'s sake.
No, seriously, stop doing John Wick shit.
I thought you could f***ing handle this.
I can't handle this.
He cannot.
Our nation is not unlike a beehive with its complex systems of workers.
I thought bees were just queen and drones and then workers. What are you even talking about?
A retired beekeeper has gone off program and is acting in what he mistakenly believes is the hive's best interest.
I have already sinned you for imitating John Wick.
That's the one thing beekeepers don't do. Stand down. Not unlike bees themselves, beekeepers keep working until they die.
Well, you just told us this guy had retired from beekeeping.
Dude, bees are interesting little shits.
Bees are interesting little shits.
Some bees are queen slayers, which will rise up and kill their queen if she fails to produce the right kind of male offspring.
Well, would you look at that? She just so happens to be sharing the part of the book that exactly applies to the last act of the movie.
We believe that Mr. Clay is connected to a classified program named Beekeeper. A program that none of our partner agencies seem willing to acknowledge.
If it's classified and nobody will acknowledge it, how do you know for certain what it's called? It's amazing that considering everyone is denying its existence and she only has this book to go by, she gets it all f***ing right.
Why is Adam Clay on this rampage?
Actually, sir, it's a little awkward, but you see, lived on my mom's property and made honey in her barn, and then she got scammed by these scammers. I think Clay took it really personally, and if I keep talking, you won't be able to ask how I'm still on this case despite my huge conflict of interest.
I'm getting ready for my to get hard with some wonderful, beautiful numbers.
Being aroused by math.
Show me, tell me, where we at?
It's down 93K, boss.
How are you down $93,000? This is a scamming operation. You either fool old people and your total goes up, or you fail to fool them and your total stays at zero.
Private security here under orders of the governor.
Does the governor supersede the FBI? If you take a look at any part of the screen that isn't Statham swinging his penis around, you'll see a lot of awkward shuffling and fumbling instead of what you should see, which is at least one of these guys having their shit together and shooting him. Listen, it's no surprise that the movie will not end here and now with our protagonist riddled with bullets. It's fine. They all miss. I get it. It's the movies. But Jason, could you at least pretend you're in danger and duck behind the desks? That's not easy what he just did.
I'm not waiting. Come on, Wiley, keep up.
Thinking that you and your father of four partner are more equipped to deal with a deadly assassin than the SWAT and ex-military private security teams who fell before you. We see his legs dangling as these guys approach, but somehow he manages to get up into the elevator, replace the hatch he crawled through, and position himself away from the bullets in, I'm gonna generously say, 4 Mississippis. Even if he had time to rehearse this move, the only way he pulls this off is in the editing room.
We should take the stairs.
Smart.
Is there only one elevator in this entire building? Ow! Thinking this is an intimidating form of torture when Jackass has been a thing for 2.5 decades.
Sometimes when the hive is out of balance, you have to replace the queen.
He does know he's not in England anymore, right? Like, America doesn't have a queen. England doesn't have a queen.
But we have laws for these things.
You have laws for these things until they fail. Then you have me.
But the law for this thing hasn't failed yet, right? They haven't even had a chance to prosecute these kids. They've only just collected enough evidence to attempt it. And yes, perhaps the time and difficulty it takes to prosecute might qualify as the law failing. But that's kind of the point. If we rush through this stuff, that's how laws and get abused and innocent people end up in jail. You know, I don't think vigilantism is as cool as Batman makes it look. Pretty rad none of that machine gun fire in here earlier took out this awesome lava lamp. Hey, second unit, for this B-roll, I want to establish that it's nighttime outside the tall building, but I'd also like to make people nauseous. Aside from this desktop wallpaper being the perfect level of incriminating to progress the plot, I'll also be sending the chaotic arrangement of folders and the fact that this Hot Girls folder is believable, but only visible if you're a loser and bothered to pause right here.
Madam President, Funmi Lawal.
Twist! This lady is the bad guy's mom and the President of the United States. The movie holds on to this stunning development for over an hour, and I could not be less overwhelmed. Frankly, I just have no more whelms to give. All my whelms are exhausted and want to go home. Also, sure is lucky that this president is a lady president, or else your whole Queen Slayer bee metaphor wouldn't be worth would it? Why don't they use overhead lights in this office?
I swore an oath. Can't stand by and watch it happen.
Oh, you swore an oath? Well, listen, everywhere I look in America, people are ignoring their oaths, from politicians to doctors to judges, so go on and break that oath, girl. It's what all the cool kids are doing. Also, we're 2/3 into the movie and Verona has swung from alcoholic cop who intimidates witnesses to sole defender of the rule of law. And I have a sneaking suspicion it's all so that we'll buy it when she feels some kind of conflicted when she comes face to face with Clay.
Not a word of this to anyone.
The president is implicated in a crime? Not a word of this to anyone. Yes, we are an agency devoted to fighting crime, but right now what we need is discretion.
Adam Clay's next victim is Derek Danforth's mother.
President Danforth, sir.
We think. You forgot to say we think. It's a movie and it's nearly over, so you were correct, but you are making huge leaps to get there.
You have a blank check.
To do what? You just told them not to tell anyone about this. So how do they use a blank check to pay for protecting the president without telling anyone that they need to protect the president? Holy shit, President Danforth owns the house from Pride and Prejudice.
Tell that guy to hurry up. I want every manhole in this street welded shut.
Clay's plan to get into the presidential beach house is to slip through a manhole and switch places with one of the guards checking the arriving trucks. But this plan depends on the Secret Service waiting until the last possible minute to weld the manhole covers closed, and it presumes that there are still party things being delivered while the party appears to have started, and it works. Jesus, no one hears this? There are people standing all around these trucks and no one hears or sees this struggle. And then he manages to shove the body up into the undercarriage?
You're a good-looking kid. You really are. You know that?
What does that mean?
Derek would be excellent at asking questions I was about to ask. Movie has time for this irrelevant ball fondling 28 years after the art form peaked in Labyrinth. I realize he did some infiltration to get in here, but there should be officers every 5 feet who all have this guy's face memorized. But instead, he's walking freely through the party and no one recognizes him at all. This is the fucking president's house! And they have worse security than my local multiplex.
He's here.
Fucking what? Why has he revealed himself like this? It does nothing for his plan. So did Clay plant this body double, or was it just a happy coincidence? I know one thing, the movie doesn't give a single shit.
You corrupted an imperfect but functioning system.
It's wild that you think the system wasn't corrupted ages ago.
You realize that you were behind in 15 of 20 counties you needed to win.
This talk about campaign financing isn't particularly interesting, so I will instead gift to those of you not already in the know with this clip of Jason Statham performing as silver-painted dancer in the 1994 music video for Erasure's Run to the Sun. You're welcome, and I apologize.
I taught CIA software to hunt money and not terrorists.
I feel pretty confident the CIA software designed to hunt terrorists is, at its core, designed to hunt and follow money. This guy didn't teach that software anything. Also, I don't think you teach software as much as you enhance or improve it.
What are you gonna do to fix this?
I'm guessing she'll resign and allow you to be arrested, but I may be wishing for the credits more than you. If this Secret Service guy is at the top of the stairs and Clay has just arrived, why is he acting like he's already been in a fight with him? Why is he exhausted? And where's his gun? It's almost as if all the Secret Service guys are played by 3 stunt people who have to keep running off camera into their new positions. Super glad the final fight is against this guy we've never met until 12 minutes ago. That's awesome.
Jesus, looks like a tornado came through here.
It does not.
What does it matter to you how presidents come to be elected?
It matters to me a bunch, and it should be a ranked choice voting system nationwide. The son of the president just killed the number 2 at the FBI in cold blood, and it's going to fade from memory immediately because that is also the moment Clay chose to enter the room and make his play. Justice for the number 2 guy at the FBI! Also, you were just talking about how she didn't have to admit to anything because her PR team can spin this however they want. Now, that's sadly true, but how the are they going to spin him murdering the number 2 at the FBI? This was so unnecessary. It's almost like he knows he's not making it through the movie and just said, F it. And this might be the first time I've related to this villain. Beekeeper shoots Derek, the true villain, and then leaps out the window like he's a bard and Jonathan is in attendance and he's just going to survive a 1,000-foot fall into the ocean when in reality, he's on the ground floor and he knew Harvard Girl was just going to have to choose to let him go or shoot him. Movie wants to have its Keanu Swayze moment, but totally misses the sky. It hasn't done nearly enough character work for me to believe that this is any kind of dilemma for Verona. This be.
Oh, no, not the beast! Not the beast! Ah!
I have self-control.
I'm gonna let you on a little secret about these telephones. They're not gonna dial themselves, okay?
And you, ma'am, in the nice pink dress, receive the Lord and you will find another job.
Oh, I'm good, buddy. I'm just doing my thing here.
Touch your nose.
You told him that? Listen to me, man. If there's one thing that I know, it's never to mess with Mother Nature, mother-in-laws, or mother-freaking Ukrainians.
But he is not our enemy. Keep Danforth Enterprises safe. Keep her reputation safe, her name safe.
Is it safe? Wallace, just tell me what the this guy is.
The fact is, I'm just crackers about cheese.
Why are you calling me on the never call this line?
The line must be drawn here.
I need your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle.
And I thought my jokes were bad.
Yesterday we were an army with no country. Tomorrow we have to decide which country we want to buy.
Who the f are you? You can't be in here.
I'm the guy who does his job. You must be the other guy.